I'm Dr. Jay Caprietta, Senior Pastor of Essential Church in Fort Worth, Texas, and I want to invite you on February the 23rd to our healing experience with Evangelist Brian Essery. It's going to be right here at 6700 Denton Highway in Fort Worth, Texas. We look forward to having you. It'll be at 5 o'clock. We're going to have a fantastic time in the Lord, and there'll be healing and miracle signs and wonders. And you're invited. Look forward to seeing you in just a few days, a couple of weeks. All right? See you soon. Have a wonderful and blessed day.
Tent. Look who signed the check. I have a picture here of an Al-Qaeda leader, and they are in a U.S. aid tent. Look who signed the check for the initial $200,000 payment to the Islamic Relief Agency, the United States Agency for International Development. The more you look into U.S. aid, the more shocked you will become. U.S. aid was running a top-secret espionage program to undermine Cuba and push people to dissent. Now, let me show you how much money we're talking about. It included a $1 billion sovereign loan guarantee, $320 million in general assistance. So where else beside the NIH has money been coming from? By far, the largest donors are from USAID and the Department of Defense. Judicial Watch found that the U.S. State Department and USAID had been giving millions to the Macedonian arm of George Soros's Open Society Foundation. What for? To train youth movements. So USAID, and those are always, they're known by anybody who pays attention as CIA fronts. This is, the USAID comes into a country, they start doing things, and next thing you know, we've got a revolution on our hands because that's the CIA.
Well, hello, good night, everybody, and welcome to Prophetic Time. Boy, do we have a lot going on in the United States, these United States of America. We're just, every day, it's something new, every single day. The CIA is actually being dealt with very nicely right now. I just got major news that came out moments ago with regards to the CIA, and I wanted to bring up the article just as I share this broadcast to the various groups. You guys go ahead and take the time to share this broadcast to your family, friends, loved ones, whomever you know. It's exciting times, folks. It's one of my members in Fort Worth says it gets gooder and gooder. So first off, let me just welcome every one of you on here tonight. We've got KT, blessings KT. She came on first on Facebook tonight, and we have Yvette who came on second. Blessings to you, Yvette. And Tiffany who came on third. And then we have Joanne on YouTube. And you guys go ahead and share. It's going to get gooder and gooder. And then we got Michael Gomez who's on here second on YouTube. Who do we have third on YouTube? All right. So tonight, sheesh, my goodness. Let me just bring this up really quickly. It is just absolutely nuts what's happening right now. Okay, so here, first off, let me just say this. There are a bunch of liberals or just regular people in the United States of America is complaining about Doge, the new government entity that Elon Musk is running. Well, they're saying that Doge is not in the Constitution. Well, thank you very much for saying that. Thank you so much for saying that Doge is not in the Constitution. You're right. But you know what else is not in the Constitution? The IRS, the CDC, the CIA, what's the gun guys? I forgot, it was just on the top of my head, but the ATF is not in it, and a whole bunch of other agencies. There's like tons of them. None of them are in the United States Constitution. The Federal Reserve is not in there as well. So all of those agencies can be questioned. They can be audited by Doge. And guess what? They can also be shut down completely. Well, guess what's happening right now? In the CIA right now, President Trump has just sent out 5,000 letters to members of the CIA asking for them all to resign. He's cleaning the whole thing out. He's cleaning them out. The CIA, folks, is going to be completely gutted. That's how corrupt it is. That is how corrupt it is. It's just like the USAID. I played that video at the beginning, and how much corruption that's been happening within the USAID, to the extent that they just absolutely had to shut the whole thing down. And I don't blame them. I think it's a great idea. So where are we right now? I'm thinking about Kash Patel. Where are we right now? As of today, Pam Bundy from Florida was confirmed as the Attorney General with a 54-46 vote. Isn't that awesome? That is absolutely amazing. So President Trump is going to be able to do what he said he was going to do. We've got the Secretary of Veteran Affairs already confirmed. We've Doug Collins. We've got Chris Wright, Secretary of Energy. We got Pete Hegseth, surprisingly confirmed as the Secretary of Defense in a 50-50 vote. And Vice President J.D. Vance casted the tie-breaking vote. Marco Rubio is already off in El Salvador. He's already confirmed as the Secretary of State, making deals with El Salvador to guess what? To put prisoners from the United States of America into the prisons of El Salvador. I just got a text from my good friend Ed. Ed says John Fetterman, a Democrat, voted for Pam Bondi. Isn't that beautiful? Oh man, y'all remember John Fetterman, right? The hoodie and shorts guy. He voted for Pam Bundy. So where does all of this leave us right now? Well, we have Robert F. Kennedy, who is nominated for the Secretary of Health and Human Services, and he was advanced by the Senate Finance Committee in a 14-13 vote, and so he's moving to the next phase. And then now we've got Tulsi Gabbard, who is also nominated for the Director of National Intelligence. And she was also advanced by the Senate Intelligence Committee with a 9-8 vote. And then Kash Patel, who's nominated to be the FBI Director, he had his hearing on the 30th of January. But they're talking about having a second hearing with Kash Patel. Gee, I wonder why. I wonder why they're so afraid of this 44-year-old guy that grew up in Garden City, New York. I believe he lived in the Bronx as well. But why are they so afraid of this guy? Just a normal guy. Indian man. He's a normal guy, right? Nothing to be afraid of. I mean, if you're innocent, why are you afraid? It's just kind of like that pastor in the pastor woman, the bishop woman in Washington, D.C. Well, guess what? They uncovered over $50 million was given to her organization, the church, from the government, from USAID, for some kind of an immigrant project. And everything about that is sus, right? Everything about it is just suspect. So she's in trouble. Guess who else is in trouble? You guessed it. Canada is in trouble. You know, Canadian, I grew up in Canada. So I know Canadians and I understand Canadians. One of the things that I do not get about Canadians is this. Canadians are not patriotic people. I have never met a patriotic Canadian until Trump started talking, and then all of all of the Canadian patriots came out of the woodworks. I've just never in my life up until now met patriotic Canadians. They don't exist except for when President Trump came out and started talking about, taking over Canada. Then all of a sudden, oh man. Okay, Darlene, fine. You're one of the patriots, okay? But I grew up in Canada and I saw a lot of immigrants from everywhere. The way how Canada is that immigrants go to Canada and they never become Canadian, right? It's not like the United States of America. The United States of America, there are many people that come from abroad and they become American. They do. They talk like they're American and they act like they're American. They become American. In Canada, there's lots and lots of separate communities where people just, it's kind of like the Mexicans right now, right? Some of those, not all of them, but some of the Mexicans, they're flying their Mexican flag in a parade, protesting against Trump with their Mexican flag. Now, if they were smart, they would take the United States flag and fly that around, and because they want to show the president that we love America. We want to be here. We don't. It's not because we feel so entitled. Because we're Mexican, we're just across the border, and you guys stole our land from us. No, just behave yourself. Get an American flag. Show some respect for this nation, and stop talking about how the United States stole your land. That's a lie. Listen to this.
I'm in no way a historian, or did I even like history growing up in school. My least subject that I liked. However, common sense, you can Google and you can find information. And that's exactly what I did. And today, of all days, February 2nd, makes the anniversary of 177 years. I'm gonna say that again. 177 years ago, Mexico made a treaty with America. February 2nd, 1848. 177 years ago, the treaty was signed on the terms of Mexico to expand the borders for America. America got 55% of Mexican land at that time. 5 years later, they sold land for $15 million under the President Santana. Now, the land is rightly America's land. So this argument that it belongs to Mexico and that's why they can stay is, they don't understand the power of purchase. Take a second and think about when you bought your house. That house might have belonged to someone else. They don't have the right to come knocking on your door, demanding for you to let them spend the night or live there along with you because, hey, it belonged to them to begin with. It doesn't make sense. That type of thinking is not very wise. So, with that said, America's America, and America needs to be respected. Whatever it was before, it's history. What it is today is what matters. Respect the country you live in. Something to think about.
Amen. Wasn't that enlightening? Mexico, they sold the land to the United States of America. Wasn't that enlightening? I mean, that was very, very, I thought it was very thoughtful and enlightening, for her to put such a video together so that people understand that we bought that land fair and square and it's ours. It's no longer, it belongs to Mexico in any way, shape, or form. We didn't steal the land. It was bought and paid for. and they accepted the deal, and that's that. You know, yeah, yes, Adela, tell them that. Try telling them that. Oh man, people just want to be victims. That's what it is. People just want to be victims. So they'll play the victim card, all day long, and there's no need for that. Grow up, get real. All right. Again, one of my favorite guys is I'm gonna put him on right now. One of my favorite guys.
Also, I don't know. Pause. On Canada, when you talk to Justin Trudeau again, is there anything he can give you at 3 p.m. when you talk again to also
I don't know.
Pause,
I don't know.
like you said with Mexico?
I don't know. We have big deficits with Canada, like we do with all countries. I mean, I look at some of the deals made, I say, who the hell made these deals are so bad? But with Canada, I have a talk with him, and you maybe know or maybe not. We're going to meet again or talk again at 3 o'clock, right after my next meeting. And we'll see what happens. I can't tell you what's going to happen.
You mentioned that he could agree to change your mind on the tariffs?
Well, we can always, look, what I'd like to see, Canada become our 51st state. We give them protection, military protection. We don't need them to build our cars. I'd rather see Detroit or South Carolina or any one of our, Tennessee, any one of our states build the cars. They could do it very easily. We don't need them for the cars. We don't need them for lumber. We don't need them for anything. We don't need them for energy. We have more energy than they do. We don't need them for energy. So I say, why are we doing this? Why are we willing to lose between $100 billion and $200 billion a year? We don't need them. As a state, it's different. As a state, it's much different. And there are no tariffs. So I'd love to see that, but some people say that would be a long shot. If people wanted to play the game right, it would be 100% certain that they'd become a state. But a lot of people don't like to play the game because they don't have a threshold of pain. And there would be some pain, but not a lot. The pain would be really there. So we're going to meet again by phone at 3 o'clock, and we'll let you know what happens.
Yeah, so the US is actually helping out Canada a whole lot by allowing Canada to manufacture a lot of US products and services and from the US corporations. If the US pulls out of Canada, it's over. We will not feel the effects of it. The United States will not feel the effects of it. Canada is about the same size, economy as Texas. That's one state out of 50 states. One state, folks. So these really crazy, suicidal politicians need to pay some respect to the United States of America. They need to calm down, behave themselves, grow up, and negotiate the right way that will actually help Canada. Because they are on a suicide mission. This is the golden age, folks. Times have changed overnight. And Canada needs to, quickly catch up. Because Trump will move on quickly, and Canada will miss the deal of their life. So, Canada, if you're watching, Doug Ford, if you're watching, Doug Ford knows who I am. We know each other. If you're watching, Doug, grow up. Okay? Grow up and do the right thing. Make a deal with President Trump. Negotiate with him. Sit at the table and have a grown-up conversation, not having a spaz or a fit or whatever you guys are doing there, throwing a tantrum over there in Canada. Just be a man. You and I don't know if Trudeau could be a man or not, but just grow up. All right. Let's see here. Over the last few days, there's been some stuff going down. Okay, so I wanted to show this video one more time. 1 second. I showed it at the very beginning.
Picture here of an Al-Qaeda leader, and they are in a U.S. aid tent. Look who signed the check for the initial $200,000 payment to the Islamic Relief Agency, the United States Agency for International Development. The more you look into U.S. aid, the more shocked you will become. U.S. aid was running a top-secret espionage program to undermine Cuba and push people to dissent. Now, let me show you how much money we're talking about. It included a $1 billion sovereign loan guarantee, $320 million in general assistance. So where else beside the NIH has money been coming from? By far, the largest donors are from USAID and the Department of Defense. Judicial Watch found that the U.S. State Department and USAID had been giving millions to the Macedonian arm of George Soros's Open Society Foundation. What for? To train youth movements. So USAID, and those are always, they're known by anybody who pays attention as CIA fronts. This is, you know, the USAID comes into a country, they start doing things, and next thing you know, we've got a revolution on our hands because that's the CIA.
A big ball of corruption. That's all there is. That's all that's been happening over the years, over the decades. Just a big ball of corruption, folks. So everything that President Trump is doing right now has to be done. The people that he needs to get confirmed has to be confirmed. He can't have anybody on his team that's not 100% on the Trump plan or the Trump train. He can't have any guys coming in with their own ideas. Okay, it's not going to work. He's the guy with the plan. That's it. So everybody needs to be confirmed. All right. Let's see. Let's go with this one here.
Alert, the Wall Street Journal is reporting the CIA has reportedly just offered a buyout to its entire workforce. Everyone in the agencies telling employees late today they can quit their jobs and receive about 8 months of pay and benefits. It's a part of Trump's push to downsize the federal government. More as we get it.
I don't think you understand what's going on. But I had a dream last night, and I'm going to share that dream. Not tonight, but I will share it. I had a dream, and God has been speaking to me since we've been fasting. Since we have been fasting, God has been speaking to me. He's been giving me some downloads, some information that people will think that I have some type of inside information, and I don't. The inside information that I have is from God. I have some really deep stuff, and of things that will happen. And when you see it happen, you'll remember what I said. Things that will happen, and also things that have already happened. And I had a dream. I had a dream. And it's going to shock a lot of people when it does actually happen. It's going to blow people's minds. It's going to absolutely blow people's minds. So I'm not talking about a theory. I'm talking about a download, a supernatural download. And yeah, it's going to be quite interesting, folks.
Also been very clear that we have to rebalance our trade relationship in this country. Every single country, if you look even our northern neighbors, Canada, do Americans realize that the Canadians charge massive, massive tariffs on our products that go into the country of Canada, including on our great agricultural products that people right here in the state of Ohio depend on. Well, if the Canadians are going to use their economic power to penalize Americans, I think it's totally reasonable for the American president to say, we're done being taken advantage of. We, of course, want to have a great relationship with Canada, but that goes both directions. And that's all his conduct and his activity of the last few days was about. We're done being taken advantage of in this country. We have got to rebalance the trade relationship between ourselves and our allies, ourselves and our adversaries. President Trump is committed to that, and tariffs is one tool that he's going to use to. President has.
Look, what I'd like to see, Canada become our 51st state. We give them protection, military protection. We don't need them to build our cars. I'd rather see Detroit or South Carolina or any one of our Tennessee, any one of our states build the cars. They could do it very easily. We don't need them for the cars. We don't need them for lumber. We don't need them for anything. We don't need them for energy. We have more energy than they do. We don't need them for energy. So I say, why are we doing this? Why are we willing to lose between 100?
All right, you heard President Trump. You heard what he said. You had guys like Doug Ford, who is the current governor of Ontario, or they call it premier of Ontario. He acted like as if Canada, if they shut off all the energy to the United States, that the whole United States would go dark. And President Trump came out and basically was saying that is not the case. There's no way Canada has that type of power, no pun intended, but that kind of power over us. So Canada was just bluffing. They were trying to make themselves look really good. But President Trump just told them, hey, we actually don't need anything from Canada. And I agree. The United States is a huge country. It's a huge nation. And Canada actually receives more from the United States than we receive from them. And there's whole industries of things that I had posted on my Facebook page yesterday. There's a whole list of stuff. It's a really long list. Well, I put it into 10 different categories, but it's a really long list of things. Just to give you an example, 87% of Canada's toilet paper comes from the US. 87%. And there are a lot of essential products that the US exports to Canada, with notable brands like Ford, GM, Tesla, Dodge Ram, and all the other parts that associated with it from companies like Borg Warner. I don't know that company, but are an auto parts and powertrain solutions company. You've got oil and petroleum products from Exxon, from Chevron, Valero, even all of the machinery for all, for them drilling and digging, all, for fracking in Canada. They get all of their stuff from the United States. You've got companies like Caterpillar, John Deere, GE, Intel, Apple, Microsoft, Dell, Cisco. Their whole country is being run on Microsoft, Apple, Intel, Dell, Cisco. Then you got all the major pharmaceutical companies that provides drugs to Canada. You've got the aerospace company, Boeing. If we pull Boeing out of Canada, you know how many jobs? If we took all the automotive plants out of Canada, the manufacturing jobs that we don't really need them manufacturing our vehicles, we can manufacture all those vehicles ourselves. And that's what President Trump is telling him. So they need to relax. They can't be acting like if, they're so, they have too much pride. They just relax, come to the table. President Trump is not trying to destroy Canada. He is not trying to sink Canada. He's not a wicked person. What he's trying to do is he's trying to negotiate with Canada a better trade deal that works for both countries. That's it. He's not wicked, like some people think he is. The people that are wicked are the people that are trying to block him from every possible deal that he could make, like the Canadian government that is in power right now. They need to be removed out of the way so that somebody with common sense can come and shake the hand of President Trump, show him some respect that he deserves. He won the election. The majority of the nation voted for him. He is the leader of the free world. Have some respect, show some respect. Okay? Or be like Mexico, or, what's that other country that had to, do a 180? Colombia, I think. Yeah, it was Colombia. Had to do a 180 and still come back and show some respect. Just show some respect right now. And that way you don't have to be embarrassed in the end, right?
The FDA doesn't even have an approval process. Did you know that there's not a company on the earth that you can go into their business? You can't even walk into Gilead, who makes remdesivir, and go like this, hey, can you show us your FDA approval certificate letter? No company on the planet can show you one. They've never received one. There's no actual certificate that says
you can't even cut
it's
hair.
FDA approved. No, but everyone in this country has been conditioned to believe the FDA does all their due diligence to make sure everything's being produced is safe and effective.
So why do we believe that?
FDA actually tells everybody that brings a device or a drug to their attention that they want their approval for, the FDA will go like this, thank you for all the documents. If you don't hear back from us by X date, you can say it is approved.
Wow.
If you hear from us before that date, that means we need more info. But there's never anything you get. There's no mail out, congratulations, your product is FDA approved. It is approval by omission. We'll wash our hands of this one. We're not going to say anything. If you don't hear from us in 4 weeks by this date, you can say your product is approved.
Do you see why President Trump is getting rid of these agencies? They're all crooked. I wouldn't be surprised if he comes out and basically just tells us that RFK is going to just dismantle the FDA because they're crooked. They're crooked operation. They were created. That whole industry was created by the Rockefellers to profit off of people, to profit off of sick people. And not just sick people, but to make people sick so that they can stay on their drugs. Because it's all about money. It's all about profiteering off of sick people, off of people that are weak-minded, who believe in the system, right? That's what it's about. And so I would not be surprised if President Trump and RFK comes out and says, hey, guys, we're dismantling the FDA. The FDA is no longer going to be around. I would not be surprised if that happens because it needs to be done. These are things that actually need to be done. And I believe it will be. I believe it will be dismantled. I don't know about you, but I see it coming. All right.
Rejoice. He declared that the federal government only recognizes. As a Christian, if you're struggling with the Donald Trump presidency, let me just encourage you. He defunded Planned Parenthood. Yeah. You should rejoice. He declared that the federal government only recognizes boys as boys and girls. You should rejoice. Yep. He declared that we should not prioritize fish over humans, which is a reinstating of the Genesis 2 created order. Yep. You should rejoice. He said boys will not ruin women's sports by pretending they're girls and then running over girls. You should rejoice. He's appointing people who publicly profess Jesus Christ as Savior. He's appointing people of righteousness to positions of power. You should rejoice. Absolutely. He's bringing to light things that have been held in darkness by the government. There is literally nothing that a Christian should be grieving or worried about right now. We are in a unique window and season of it is all rejoice. Thanks be to God for who he is and what he's doing through what you may have perceived as an imperfect servant. God's using him anyways. Thanks be to God. Learn how to win, Christian.
Yeah, there you go. Unfortunately, we have a lot of Christians that basically are constantly having a problem with President Trump. I even on my way home tonight, I was watching this video of this guy. Anyway, um, I don't want to say too much, but anyway, I was watching this video. This man, that believes he is a prophet or whatever. He basically was saying that Trump is the Antichrist. I have a video where President Trump says that he is a Christian and he has accepted Christ. Trump is a Christian. Whether you accept it or not, he's accepted Christ. So people can say whatever they want to say. He has pastors around him. Some of his closest advisors are pastors. Okay? What Democrat leader that you know of has a pastor as one of their closest advisors? None of them. They're never seen with them. They're never seen with a pastor praying for them. President Trump has numerous videos, pictures, images, and also does it in secret too, where he has pastors praying for him all the time. I am one of them. So people are always talking what they don't know. They're always saying things that they don't know, just simply because they don't like him. They don't like the man, President Trump. But he's in office because God put him in office. Okay? God is the one that puts leaders into offices. So if you're fighting against President Trump, you might be fighting against God. Okay? Now, if Trump was an unrighteous man, a little bit different. If he cheated his way into the White House, and he's an unrighteous man, ungodly man, then that's different. Right? You judge him a little bit differently. But this man clearly loves God. He respects God. When people were saying that, to Trump, who was the most famous person in the whole world? He says, I know that people would like for me to say it's me, but no, it's not me. It's Jesus Christ. Yeah, that's what he said. He gives all the glory and the honor to Jesus Christ. Not just God, that anybody can claim that's not a Christian. God. Their God could be Baphomet for all we know. No, Jesus Christ. That's the name he mentioned. Okay, so, you should probably send some people this video and let them watch it. Let them watch it so they'll get a little bit of context as to all the things that President Trump did. Okay, one of the first things he did was shut down Planned Parenthood. Okay, what else did he do? He emptied out the military of all the trans people. All the LGBT stuff, all of that stuff is gone. It's done with. Even in the school system. I saw a video last night of a teacher having to fold up her LGBT flag and remove it from the classroom. Listen, this man is doing God's work in this country. Oh, my God. The Antichrist will be revealed in its time, folks. But for now, we are in the golden age. You can accept it or you can reject it. But if you reject it, that's up to you. That's your business. But I accept that we're in the golden age, and I believe that God, this is the year of a divine, graceful wealth transfer. There are things that are going on behind the scenes that are in our favor. So it's going to get gooder and gooder. Right, Cynthia? I don't know if you're watching. It's going to get gooder and gooder. All right. we've just had a roller coaster. The last few days just been a roller coaster. It started off with, that plane crash in DC, the plane and the helicopter crash, and I was looking all over the internet for that the girl who was on that flight, who they said was a DEI hire, and I couldn't find her anywhere on the internet. I couldn't find a picture of her anywhere. And come to find out, they totally removed everything. They just wiped out every bit of information about her on the internet. All of her social medias were gone. Everything was gone. So nobody can look her up, see her family, see where she came from. Nothing. There's no information on her anywhere but her name. And I know that as time goes by, more and more details will come out, because she grew up somewhere. Somebody went to school with her. Somebody was her best friend. But yeah, they totally scrubbed everything from the internet. Thank you for the word I was looking for. They scrubbed everything from the internet. But after that, more things happened, which was absolutely insane. There was, plane wreck after plane wreck. The wreck that happened in Philadelphia that looked like a missile. It didn't look like an airplane. It looked like a missile that fell out of the sky. And the way how it just exploded. I mean, I don't know about airplanes and how they, somebody explained to me that a Learjet can explode like that, right? And that's why they said it was a Learjet, because of how it exploded. But this was looked like to me like a missile. But again, we won't ever know the absolute truth. It's just like the situation in DC with the helicopter flying into the airplane. They're flipping it around as if the airplane flew into the helicopter. That's how the news is basically putting it out there in a tricky fashion. And get this, one of the air traffic controllers that night had leaked a video to CNN, and the FBI went and arrested the young man. Now, I don't know what criminality they're going to find in that one, but they're going to find something unless President Trump steps in and lets the young man go. The young man leaked the video to CNN, and they arrested him. Why would they arrest him? It was publicly shown on, somebody filmed it on their private phone. But I guess because he took the video from the FAA, and maybe he sold it to CNN. I don't know. But they're trying to arrest him and probably silence him. And I just pray for his life. I pray for his safety. That's all I could say right now. But hopefully that agency is under control and of President Trump, and maybe they can, deal with this righteously. But that's what's happening. Anyway, got a couple videos I want to show you guys of a couple different scenarios.
Come on, I'll get along. Please remain seated until further instructions are happening. Oh my God. Please get us on. So fire, this is jet.
So that was a United Airlines flight that basically caught on fire from Houston to New York City, and it was evacuated after it caught on fire during the takeoff.
As we're coming back to Los Angeles, we continue to have the fuel problem. But on the way below 10,000 feet or so, which is about 4 minutes before landing, our left engine decided to quit. But the right engine was great. We had a nice, eventful, nice, smooth landing. So I've been flying 35 years. This is my first engine failure.
Holy shit.
Very rare situation.
Flying for 35 years, and that's his first engine failure. What are the chances? What are the chances of that happening? These things have been done on purpose, and to God be the glory. Many people made it. I know some didn't, but to God be the glory that He spared those people's lives, because they were landing. When they were landing, that's when the engine actually quit. So there's a lot of knocking on the plane, but the engine failed as they were actually landing. And so they landed safely. So glory be to God. We give God all the glory and honor and praise for that one. So guys, that's all I got for you tonight. Wanted to thank you for joining me. And, we've been praying a whole lot about a lot of things, for our church, for Essential Church, for, the growth, the development, for buildings, for, just for property. We've been praying about a lot of things for Essential Church, and I sense that there's a move of God coming to Essential Church really, really quickly. And want to just let you guys know that on the 22nd, we will have an event at our church. It's with Turning Point USA, where we'll be doing biblical citizenship classes on the 22nd of February. And then on the 23rd, we will have a special guest with us, Evangelist Brian Essery, who will be a part of the healing experience. So he's going to be speaking on Sunday morning and also on Sunday evening at the healing experience. So I want to invite you guys to come on out. If you are in the Fort Worth area, be there. Some people are traveling from far, going to be flying in. So I invite you all to come out to the healing experience on Sunday, February the 23rd. Look forward to seeing you guys there. And so love you with the love of God. Listen, it's time for us to give. So information is on the screen. You can actually sow by texting the word give to 844-583-7012. You can also go to our website, which is etribe.org, and it is in the post of this video. Go ahead and like this video as well. Just click on the like button or the heart button. So you can go to etribe.org/give, and right there you click on the give button, and you can fill out your information, and it comes right directly to Essential Church. If you're using Cash App, you can just use $etribes, and that will work as well. Thank you so much for your support and over the years. And we, like our church, we sent out the tax receipts for 2024. If you did not receive it, please send me a message. You could send a message to info@etribe.org, and we will make sure that gets taken care of right away. All right. So thank you so much for your time. Blessings to you. I love you with the love of God. And tomorrow is Bible study at 7 p.m. Central Time. So be there. All right. Love you all with the love of God. Have a wonderful night and stay perpetually blessed.